Hello and welcome to Feasibility.pro. Hope you are doing good. Today we are going to talk about incremental IRR. In what is incremental IRR and in what situation we are going to use the incremental IRR. So let's go and get started. So I have this Excel file opened here, and it has a small cash flow for a project. Just assume that the discount rate for this project is 10%. It doesn't matter actually, so just leave it this way. And what we can do, we can calculate the IRR for this project by using the IRR formula and just putting these values here. This will give me 13.27%. Now, if you want to calculate the NPV, what we can do, we can use the NPV formula, input the rate, which is this one, 10%, and then the cash flows, and then add back the initial investment, which is this one. So this gives me the NPV of 125. So this is one project. Now, when I told you that we are going to use the incremental IRR, so that means there is another project. So this is another project which we were talking about, and the cash flow for this project is like this. And again, this is a same duration, not a different duration. And we'll calculate the IRR again with the same IRR formula. So this is the IRR, 12.78%. And if you want to calculate the NPV, we can just add this one plus NPV, and the rate remains at 10%, and this is the cash flows. So yes, that's okay. So it gives me 220. So if you look at these two cash flows and the two IRRs and NPV, which one you will choose? I mean, if you look at the IRR, this gives me higher IRR, and this gives me also a lower NPV, and this gives me a lower IRR, but this gives me a higher NPV. But this higher NPV just coming from the fact that you have a much higher initial investment, almost double of this project. So which project to choose? In such situations, we can use incremental IRR. So what I have done here, I'm saying that what is the incremental cash flow of these two projects. So just this minus this, the first project, and then we just drag it up to here and sum this one here. So we just see up to 5 here, that's right, 650. And again, we calculate the IRR for the incremental cash flow of these two projects. So the IRR for this cash flow is 12.29, and the NPV is the rate, which is 10%. And then you have the cash flows, which look like this. And then I add back the initial investment, which was this one, so 91. So what does it mean? It means that the incremental cash or incremental net cash of these projects gives me a positive NPV. And the IRR is also higher than my discount rate, which is my hurdle rate for this project. So definitely, what should I do? Definitely, I should take this project, because it generates additional NPV and it gives me a IRR which is above my hurdle rate. Now, I mean, we have this example. I will look at another example where we will see that if the incremental IRR is 0, what should we do in such situation? So let's go to the second example. Again, we have the same cash flow here, and we calculate the IRR for this project, this cash flow, which is again the same, and the NPV of this will be rate plus the cash flows and plus the initial investments, so 128. Then I have the second project which has a cash flow like this, and if you look at this cash flow, I mean, you don't have to do much analysis, but just for the sake of analysis, we will do it. Although you can see that I'm investing 1,000 and my net is 690, where I'm investing 1,800 and still my net is 690. So obviously I should be taking this project without any further analysis. But just to demonstrate a point that what should we be doing if we get the incremental IRR as 0. So let's calculate the IRR for this project, which is this one, and calculate the NPV of this one, which is rate plus the cash flows and plus the initial investment. So you get a negative NPV. So obviously this project, again, you should not take. This is a second sign that you should not be taking this project, but you should be taking this project. But let's look at the incremental cash flow. So this is the difference between this and this. And you can notice that the incremental cash flow brings 0 net cash. You don't have to do anything else again. But again, if you calculate the IRR of this one, the IRR is 0 and the NPV of this one will be rate, which is 10%, and the cash flows, and just add back the initial investment. So you get a negative NPV. That means if the incremental IRR is 0, you should not take the second project. You should only take the first project. And I mean, this you don't have to reach up to this point. It was very obvious from this, and also from this. When you have IRR which is lower than your discount rate, you should not be taking this project. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comment or any feedback, let me know in the comment section below. You can also download the Excel file from the link in the description. Thank you.